Hello, my name is Janice, and I've created a new game called Word Plus Value. Now, the Word Plus Value game is a card game that can be played with between 1 to 4 players that takes 30 to 40 minutes depending on how fast players play. The cards come in 2 different packages. One package is the pictures and word cards that are to be drawn by a player and shown for all players to see. The second package of cards are the AV cards, and the AV cards are the letter tile with a value number next to it that is supposed to be added to find out what that total word value would be. The object of the game is to spell out the sight word that is seen. Each player draws a card. The card that is needed is placed at the top for all players to see. The card that is not needed is placed next to the player. Now, each player should have a pencil and paper to keep their score. While keeping your score, you should also write the sight letter or words down that is seen. So once you draw that letter, you're able to mark it off on your scoreboard and put the value point underneath the letter. So I'm going to show you a quick game, one of them, and this is one of my favorite ones because it was inspired to help teach a young group of young ladies, Katherine Johnson Scholar Sisters, their mathematical terms. So this one is called the S.T.E.M Learning. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So I will do a one round so you can see how it's played. Small box, very powerful tool though. Definitely, and you'll see it's inspired by Scrabble. So let's get started. So player 1 would draw a card, and the card is the exponent. The exponent would then, card would be set up at the top so all players could see. Then player 1 would also draw to see if they're in need of a letter that spells out exponent. And as you can see, this one does not. This says approximately equal. As you can see, it is an L with a 1 number value, and it's not needed. So player 1 would put that card next to them as a discard. But as you also can see, that each card gives the player the definition, a sample, and an example of what an approximately equal sign is. So see? Okay, so that one will go there. Player 2 will draw brackets. Once again, that's a B with a 3 value that's not needed. But once again, you see all the information the players are getting to see. I really believe in visualization, repetitiveness that will help people. Player 1 would draw again. The O in exponent. Excellent. So we found the O. It would be placed at top. And player 1 would mark the O off on their sheet, giving them a point because the O has a 1 value. Player 2 picked up the E in exponent, and they would lay that down, and player 2 would get 1 point for the number value of the O. Player 1, another E that is also needed in exponent. Player would put it up top and mark it off. Player 1 would receive the E and 1 point. Not needed for player 2, approximately equals card again, but they do not get any points because, as you see, there's no number value. Another one, no number value. Player 1, player 2, the X in exponent. Perfect. Player 2 receives 8 because the X has an 8 value. We will place it up top for all players to see, continuing to spell it out. the P. Oh, and then they would mark that out and receive that 8 points. Sorry. Then the P, player 1 will receive that and mark it out with 3, and so on. N, player 1 would get that and receive the 1. Another N is needed. As you see, as I said, the repetitiveness is totally important. And if players and students are able to continue to see what they're picking up and read it, oh, they'll get it. And mark it off, receiving 1 point. Player 1. Player 2, receive the T, put it up top, and 1 point. Variable, oh, is not needed, but we would put that one back, sorry, because we have spelled out exponent. E-X-P-O-N-E-N-T, exponent. And in seeing, spelling out the whole word of exponent, you will see it spelled out. Players are able to see which letter and how much that letter is. So with exponent, that would be 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 points. So in learning how to spell exponent, you realize that you will receive 17 points. Now, in regards to the word plus value, in order to find out who the winner is, we need to see who received the least value. And how we do that is, see, player 1. Player 1 received the X, received the E, the P, and the N. 2 of the N's, giving them 6 points. And then the player 2 received the X, N, and the E and T, and they received 11 points. Player 1 had to discard 1, and they would add that to that 6, giving them 7. Player 2 had 2 cards to discard, but only 1 card with a number value of 3, and they would add that 3 to their 11, giving them what? 14. So the player for that round and the winner would be player 1. You see how simple the game is? And it teaches the kids and anyone who is needing to learn a certain topic, a word, the definition, a sample, and just exposure. All right? So try to pick up a game, hit me up, order one. It's a great one, and look for more games. I'm creating them every day. Thanks, y'all.